Hey, good evening, everybody. It's Carl. Welcome to the Snowpocalypse. It's Thursday evening. Time for a shave. Hope everybody's doing well. If you are impacted by the crazy winter weather here in the States, particularly Texas or South, I hope you're safe and warm because it has been an adventure. Anyway, let's get into the shave and then I'll start flapping my yap. So today's shave is done by kettle. I've got a bowl in the sink with some warm water in it. I took a shower with a kettle. It's the first shower I've had in 3 since Monday. Actually, since Sunday. So let's get shaving. I'm going to do a straight razor shave tonight. We'll be using the Genco USA. The It's Just Shaving brush. I've got some Arco Maximum Comfort in the bowl. We'll be finishing it off with Hega. I chose to go with a straight shave tonight because since I wiped the blade on a towel, I figured I'd use a little bit less water. So yeah, definitely wild times down here in Texas. If you've been following me on Facebook or just watching the news, you know we're having severe winter weather that is like a once-in-a-lifetime storm. We haven't had temperatures like this in 100 years. We've seen single-digit lows with negative wind chills. We've seen 5 or 6 days straight of freezing temperatures. We've had sleet and rain almost every day this week so far, starting on Sunday night. Or actually Sunday afternoon, really. We've had 3 legitimate snow events so far, if I'm not mistaken. The roads are crap. The Texas power grid was not prepared for the winter weather, so the wind turbines that we get part of our power from froze. The natural gas lines froze, so the fuel couldn't be pumped through. Some people have been out of without electricity for several days. I was lucky. We didn't start losing power in my area until Monday afternoon, and then we were on a rolling blackout cycle, which is basically mandatory electricity conservation. They cut your power for a couple of hours, give you a couple of hours to get everything warmed back up, and just keep the rotation going every several hours. Like I said, I was lucky enough to have to be on that part, but like my brother, where he lives, they actually had a legit power outage. They were 3 days without electricity. I have a friend who lives in town in Austin. She and her husband were without power and water for 4 days. So it's wild. I lost power on Monday evening. There's a pipe break in our apartment complex, so we got no running water. Luckily, I'm a little bit on the prepper side, and as soon as the weather came, so I guess let me go back to the beginning of the story. We knew this was coming last Friday, the 13th, right? Or was it Friday the 13th? No, Friday the 12th. Saturday was the 13th. Sunday was Valentine's Day. So anyway, we knew the weather was coming. We got our first taste of ice on Wednesday of last week. No, Thursday of last week. Went to work on Friday. The offices were closed, but since technically I am considered a mandatory employee, I went to work. The roads weren't too bad. Not a lot going on in my area for what my particular job was. And I had already scheduled to take off few hours early to start the Valentine's Day weekend with my beautiful lady. So temperatures dropped, got it freezing, stayed freezing all weekend through Valentine's Day. Comes that Sunday evening, the 14th, I'm sitting in my apartment and as soon as I got home from the romantic weekend, I made a big pot of chili, I made a big pot of beans, I put a little bit of water away and filled some containers, made sure I had batteries, camp stove fuel, all that kind of stuff, because I knew the weather was going to get bad. That evening, as I was sitting in the apartment, I noticed that my heater had just been blowing all day long, which is not, unusual. It's freaking 20 some odd degrees outside. I imagine that it just wasn't able to keep up. So I put in a work order so that they could come and check it. Sunday overnight, we got snow and more ice. But since it was my regular day off, I didn't have to work. And maintenance came to check my heat because, we were having emergency weather. I felt bad for the maintenance guy having to trudge through the ice and snow to come check my heater. And he confirmed that it was not blowing warm air. And that morning when I woke up, my apartment was 55 degrees. And I'm cutting the hell out of myself. Probably because my face is not damp enough. So anyway, he brought me a space heater, which has been nice. Said we can't get the parts or the tools because of the weather, the roads. We'll get to it when we get to it. No big deal. So by Monday evening, the water in my apartment complex had gone out. Luckily, I had heard that there were rumors that the water pipes were bursting and bad things were happening. I'm going to switch from that straight razor just because I'm talking and not really paying attention to the Gillette, just to make this quicker. So anyway, I had switched, or I had heard that we may start having rolling blackouts in the area and that they were starting to have water supply issues through our water provider as well. So I filled some more jars and the like, and filled the bathtub in my spare bedroom. I got myself really good there. And filled every pot I had and boiled a bunch of water because by Monday afternoon they had already started a water boil notice because we were losing pressure in the pumps because they were starting to freeze for the city water. So boiled a bunch of water, filled my bathtub, did all that stuff, and then by Monday evening, had no water in the complex. Had no lights for several hours at a time. My apartment is all electric, so I had no heat, even though they brought me the little heater. And I had to cook or warm up my food on a camp stove. But I was prepared, so not a big deal. I felt bad for my brother, and I had some firewood and I have a fireplace. Felt bad for my brother. He is not quite so prepared, and they were without power for several days, running out of running out of food. They never lost water. And they were running out of food because they couldn't cook. So, I felt terrible because I couldn't help. I couldn't get there because of the roads being so crappy. So I couldn't help him out. My sister was doing okay. She's in Austin area as well. And they were fine. They had water and electricity where she lived. So, stepdad, their pumps to their water provider froze, so they are still without water as of Thursday evening. They've been without water for about a day and a half, 2 days. So yeah, a lot of people are having it bad. It's been an adventure. Luckily, I can say I've been prepared, so I'm not in too bad of a spot. We got our electricity is steady and constant so far today. So I've been holed up in my bedroom because the little heater that they brought me is not warm, or not big enough to warm any significant portion of the house. So just kind of hanging out in my room, reading, watching TV when I have the internet, and hanging out. I have not been to work in a few days because of the roads. Once again, while we are considered essential employees, the operations that we were doing, the COVID vaccines and the COVID testing, all that kind of stuff has been put on hold because of treacherous travel. I checked in with some of the bosses and they didn't have any assignments ready for me to come in that I needed to be working on. So I decided to call off, and I've called off. Back to work tomorrow though, because we're starting to do not so much vaccine operations, but we're doing emergency logistics for the nursing home. My work wife has been doing that all week because she is able to work from home, so she's been working on that stuff from home. And so going into the office tomorrow to see what tasks they have assigned to me. We've been trying to get supplies for nursing homes, trying to arrange transport for people who need non-emergency transport to like dialysis clinics and things like that. So that's probably what I'll be working on tomorrow. But anyway, I don't know. I just feel like I've been rambling and not really saying much, not really paying attention to the shave. Like I said, I nicked myself a few times. Let me grab some elm. Everything is shut down. The roads are shut down. The stores are shut down. Everything is just kind of wild right now. So we'll see. We're supposed to start thawing out tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon will be above freezing. So hopefully and it's supposed to be sunny. So hopefully the roads will dry out. Thaw and dry out, so things will be a little easier. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I really don't know what I'm talking about. Just kind of rambling update. Sitting in my apartment alone for a few days. Posting on Facebook. I've posted a few things on Facebook and Instagram. Just kind of updates. Not really looking for sympathy or trying to be some kind of hero, but people seem to think I have a pretty good attitude. I think my attitude would have been a lot worse if I'd been a little less prepared. So, anyway, felt good to get a shower. It was definitely an interesting type shower. Like I said, pot of water, half warm, half room temperature, wet, lathered up, rinsed off with a cup. I mean, it worked. That's how they did it back in the olden days, right? Cuts aren't too bad. Took a bird bath yesterday. I haven't been doing much, so, not particularly sweaty or gross. So that's a bonus. But it was nice to get wet and get cleaned up. I feel clean. I feel like a real person. Wish the shave had been a little bit better, but that is what it is. All right, so that is the Snowpocalypse update. Sorry, it wasn't very exciting. Got a lot of stuff on my mind, trying to figure out what's the next step. I don't know when I'm going to have water back in the apartment, but I know that there's heat and running water at the office. If I can start getting there safely, then I can restock my supplies. Anyway, that's all I got. I don't know what else to talk about. I mean, it's frustrating. People are playing politics and all that nonsense. And right now, what we need to worry about is making sure that people are safe and warm and fed and watered. All the other stuff can hash itself out later. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the kind of weird update video. I'll check in with you guys soon. Stay safe out there. Stay warm. Visit with your friends and family if you can. It's very important. And if you can't get there physically, call them. Make sure they're doing okay. Have a great night. I'll talk to you later. God bless.